Good afternoon and welcome back to Castelletto di Branduzzo for the second wet round of the WSK Supermaster Series for 2015. I'm Ian Silvestrin, joining you in commentary wherever you're watching us all around the world on wsk.it. Well, we've completed our pre-finals this morning, all 8 of them, and we're down to the 4 finals for our category, starting with the 60cc mini final. And as you can see on your screen, it is coming down quite heavily here in the north of Italy. The track, you can see for yourself, it's wet. It's really, really wet, and therefore has been officially declared as such. 60cc mini drivers out on the circuit. We'll go through the grid with you momentarily. For some of you, it's very early in the morning. For some of you, it's late at night. Central European time. It is Northern Hemisphere. The conditions aren't real good. They were yesterday, got up to about 18, even 19 degrees, and you could almost feel a little bit of warmth. 10 or 11 o'clock last night, the temperature I mean, of course, and it's barely, I don't think it has got into double figures yet today. Only about 7 degrees. It tumbles down, not really heavily, but very, very consistent. Wet conditions for all these drivers. Wet setup, wet kart conditions, I mean. Drivers in all 4 categories. And I guess one of the benefits of using the Vega tyre is the beautiful Vega grid girls that you can see on your screen there, but at least they've got the Vega umbrellas to protect them. Well, it looks as though one of the karts being with a problem. That's the scene here at Castelletto. Water, not just that coming out of the sky, but the recreational lakes. The baby race karts on screen. Your screen is the pole sitter, Dennis Hauger, the Norwegian in the CRG, and he has Marzio Moretti alongside him. The rain's actually getting a little bit heavier as we count down to the start of this final, which will be over 10 laps. That's Francesca Raffaele on screen, racing the Zanardi F1 Grand Prix driver here this weekend with the Francesca racing for them in the Zanardi chassis as the Vega grid girls exit the circuit to try and keep 10 laps the distance, 1,200 for the Branduzzo circuit. The second round of this series, you can see Giuseppe Fusco, the 516 kart, just edges his kart a little further to the right. Of course, it'll be a rolling start when the engines fire into life, which is just in a few moments' time. The WSK Supermaster. Of course, we kicked off in Adria a couple of weeks ago. From here, we will head Sarno, Pista Napoli. And the track's even got worse in the half-hour lunch break that we've had since the last of the pre-finals. That's Leonardo Marsiglia on screen. The 2 Team Gamoto karts. They've been at the front of just about every 60cc mini race in Italy for the past year or so. Dennis Hauger will start from pole position. Alberto Negro in the top kart. He's on the 3rd row of the grid. Quite a few drivers not making it through to the final as we go through the grid with you. Hauger with Moretti alongside. Then it's Mattia Mulla in the energy kart with Leonardo Marsiglia out of 4. Rocco Alberto Negro with Giuseppe Fusco. Leonardo Parpeglia is alongside Luca Giardelli. 5th row of the grid is Federico Cecchi. Then the Spaniard Ruben Moya Lopez out of grid number 10. On the 7th row of the grid, we've got Luigi Coluccio, who won the WSK Champions Cup about a month ago on his home circuit. Behind him, the Indian driver, Yash Aradhya, in the Tony kart. All the way down to the back of the grid, Pietro Deliguanti and Alessandro Cenadese. Well, this morning in the pre-finals, due to the wet conditions, we did have 2 formation laps. We might even get going straight away if the race director, Mr. Alessandro Ferrari, is happy with the field. They look pretty good so far, under the control of the pole sitter, Dennis Hauger. They're on the back straight now. We look out for Jose Antonio Gutierrez Gomez on the 11th row of the grid alongside the young Brit Luca Griggs. Just ahead of the 2 Romanians, David Serban and Andrea Ponta. Hi to our friends watching in Budapest, Romania. In front of them, in fact, there's 3 Romanians because alongside Lorenzo Ferrari. But the front row of the grid is the Norwegian versus the Italian, Dennis Hauger and Marzio Moretti. 12 kilometres, 10 laps the distance of this 7-lake circuit track. It's 8 lakes because this track has become a lake in itself. We are surrounded by natural lakes here. As the field head up to the final corner, I'll suggest we'll go green this time round. Marzio Moretti with Dennis Hauger from Team Gamoto alongside. Ready for a start. 2 neat lines of 17 karts each. A 34 kart final which goes green right now. We've lost 1 right at the back of the field straight away. That was Roman Stanek, who turned around his clock motion chassis. As they all stream down through turn number 1. This field is being led by your pole sitter. No surprises there. It's Dennis Hauger. He is up into 2nd spot. As they come up the back straight for the first time. Marzio Moretti in 3rd. Down into the hotel hairpin for the first time. We've lost amazingly from this first lap. Great driving by these 60cc mini drivers. Despite the conditions, Hauger's already meter lead on Mattia Muller in 2nd spot. Fourth or 5th as they come across the line for the first time. Moretti, the pole. Fusco's back in 7th. Then it's Rocco Alberto Negro, Federico Cecchi, Francesco Crescenti, Luigi Coluccio. A great start up into 11th ahead of Luca Giardelli. And the Spanish driver that we spoke of, Jose Antonio Gutierrez, going in 13th place. Dennis Hauger, your leader, by 1.2 seconds from the Energy Kart pilot. Mattia Muller gets it a little bit sideways on the exit. Mattia Michelotto is way down in 23rd spot. Of course, he had that massive accident in practice, in the heats, I should say, yesterday at the back straight. Remarkably came back to win a heat. He's got the IAME engine. Most of these drivers using the TM engine in 2000 out there. Dennis Hauger is using the TM as he 0.2 seconds. It stays the same to Mattia Muller. Moretti from Papaglia, Dan Skoktapol. 6 places up into 5th. That was Vittorio Trat. Mattia Muller on screen in the Energy Kart, the bright orange helmet. Works it on the back straight, head down behind the steering wheel. They make effect despite the wet weather. These karts are touching on 100 kilometres an hour in the dry. Not quite that in the wet, but not far from it. Dennis Hauger is still your leader from Mattia Muller. Bernardo Papaglia, who came from the 4th row of the grid. Luca Griggs, a fantastic spot for the young Brit. up into 15th place. Leonardo Marceglia is way down the field in 17th. After a woeful start, Roman Stanek, despite that spin, has recovered a couple of places and is in 27th, which doesn't sound much, but he's still got 7. Genis Civico behind his countryman Jose Antonio Gutierrez Gomez. That's 13. Because we've seen in the past, we've only had one retirement, and that is Lorenzo Ferrari, who's out of the race, but we've still got 33 drivers out there. Dennis Hauger, he won the WSK Champions Cup at La Conca Muro Lecce at the start of the year. The rain is getting heavier still here at Castelletto di Moretti in 3rd spot. Giuseppe Fusco, he's made the switch to top in that Lenzo kart chassis over the years. Giuseppe Fusco is back in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Goes from Moretti to Papaglia, Scottopol, Ruben Moya Lopez, Fusco, Crescenti, Negro, Federico Cecchi rounds out your top 10. That's K Champions Cup earlier in the year. As dashing half race distance, he's got a 2-second lead now over Mark. You can see how heavy it's starting to rain here. Just been drizzle up until now. Drizzle and light rain, but now the rain's actually really starting to get quite heavy. Norwegian Dennis Hauger, he's using the steering wheel, the 501 for the team run by Salvatore Gatto. 2.3 seconds. Well, I can't believe how much this field has spread out. Usually there are 3 and 4 wide. Obviously the rain is having an effect, but as I said, we've only had one retirement. That was Lorenzo Ferrari. Andrea Ponta from Romania. Then his countryman, David Sorban. Pittia Michelotto's down in 19th. One ahead of Tare. Half race distance. Surely it can't be this easy for the Norwegians that they're not 2, 3 and 4 wide as Hauger touches. Mattia Muller has not given up on taking a win here today. He's still in 6th, head of Giuseppe Fusco. Yash Aradia is now up into 11th, the driver from Into. What an up and down weekend he's had. From a massive crash, 515 is Marzio Moretti. Papaglia, your leader, Dennis Hauger. Look at the headlight we've seen yet in the W. Dennis Hauger did win a pre-final in the opening round of the series. That race was won by Mattia Michelotto. Points haul for the Norwegian. If he can stay where he is, he will lead the series going into half laps. And now the rain now starting to come in sideways. The sad thing is yesterday it was sunny and 18 degrees, and tomorrow, yep, same forecast. It's just Sunday, race day here. Unfortunately, we've lost the young English driver, Luca, 34 so far. 2 laps to go at the end of this one. Try and get a question out of him after the WSK Champions Cup. And he had to realise that he'd actually won. He's a very modest young kid, a fantastic driver. You can see the gap is now out to 3.2 seconds. The fight is on for the final podium spot. Leonardo Papaglia on screen, chasing down Marzio Moretti. Both of them in the Tony kart. Muller on screen in the energy kart. That's the battle for 3rd. The final step of the podium. 1.5. They've been 2 and 3 wide throughout the heats. Even the pre-finals this morning of the field. Marzio Moretti to this final step of the podium. Of course, he took pole position at the Vortex Rock International Final in 2014. So he's a quick driver. He can put it together over a lap. Can he hold it together for 10 laps, or does Leonardo Papaglia, which will be awarded immediately after this race despite the pouring rain? Dennis Hauger, 1,256 metres to go. Mattia Muller has got 2nd place in the bag if he doesn't throw it off the track. There's a train of baby race karts coming through. Dan Scottopol, Ruben Moya Lopez through. That's 5th seal. But out front, the gap is almost 4 seconds. He's made 3rd in the opening rounds of the series. Jake is just to his left, to your right. With just 3 quarters in this, he will lead the WSK Supermaster Series going into the 3rd round at La Conca Murolacese. Third, it's going to be a Norwegian victory for CRG. The checkered flag goes to Dennis Hauger. He is delighted. He wins it. 2nd place will go to Mattia Mulla. And in 3rd, across the line goes Marzio Moretti. He holds on. Well done, Marzio, to finish 3rd on the podium today. Well, that was the most sedate 60cc mini race we have ever seen. Normally, as I say, they're 2, 3 and 4 wide. Dennis Hauger made it look like he was running in that engine. He won by 3.9 seconds. Mattia Muller gave it all he could, but just couldn't quite match the CRG today. So we've got a CRG, an Energy Kart and a Tony Kart to take the podium here this afternoon. Leonardo Papaglia finishing in 4th. Great drive from Francesco Crescenti to come home 7th. From the 8th row of the grid, Vittorio Travagin 14th. From 30th on the grid, Jose Antonio Gutierrez Gomez, 21st up to 13th. But from pole position to win it and to lead the WSK Supermaster Series going into La Conca, the 3rd round in 3 weeks' time, it's the driver from Norway. He won the WSK Champions Cup at the start of the year, and he leads this Supermaster Series after a 3rd, and now, as you can see, a win here today. Dennis Hauger wins it from Mattia Mulla, Marzio Moretti, Leonardo Papaglia, Dan Scoctopol, Ruben Moya Lopez from Spain, Francesco Crescente, Giuseppe Fusco dropped back to finish 8th at the end of the day, ahead of Rocco Alberto Negro and Luigi Coluccio. Bravo Luigi, who finishes in 10th in the Forza Blue Racing number 550 Tony Kart. Roman Stanek 21st after getting looped on the opening corner, so not a bad recovery in the Croc promotion kart. But the winner, Dennis Hauger, and he did it comfortably, unheard of in the 60cc mini class. The driver from Norway now leads the WSK Supermaster Series after a dominant victory here at Castelletto di Branduzzo. We'll get set for the podium presentation in just a few moments, as soon as the drivers make their way in from Parc Ferme. Will be Dennis Hauger on the top step of the podium, with Mattia Muller to take 2nd, and Marzio Moretti 3rd. We'll bring you the podium presentations. Stay with us in just a few moments. This is the WSK Supermaster Series. You're watching us live on WSK.it. Ladies and gentlemen, despite the rain... Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us despite the rain. We'll get underway straight away with the podium presentations for the 60cc mini class. In third place, Marzio Moretti. In second place, Mattia Mulla. Well done. The winner of the 60cc mini final from Norway, Dennis Hauger. We'll now award the third place trophy to third place, Marzio Moretti. Second place to Mattia Mulla. The winner from Norway, Dennis Hauger. We'll now stand by for the national anthem of Norway. Bravo, Dennis. Your podium for the 60cc mini final, and your winner, Dennis Hauger. Second place, Mattia Mulla, and third, Marzio Moretti. Well, we won't hold you up too much longer with this weather. We'll get underway in just a few moments with the KF Senior Final.